I feel like setup took a little longer today. Oh,
I kind of forgot how everything is supposed to be set up. There's so much like logistics when it comes to this.
I feel bad because all I do is just sit here.
Well, you're gracious enough to open up your house, so that's fine. But like we got 3 cameras to take care of, 2 mics that we always gotta like set up all the time, a computer that doesn't work very well.
It's on its last legs.
It's literally it's like on OS 10.9. It doesn't even upgrade to 11. So
that I don't know enough to, but that sounds bad.
That is bad because like my bank website is like, yo, you gotta like upgrade your computer, otherwise it's gonna be like vulnerable. I'm like, ooh,
yeah. That's when you know you need to get a new computer, when like other companies are saying like our
what
stuff
the hell
doesn't
are you using?
our stuff doesn't work on your computer.
Oh man. They're expensive though. It's weird because like the iPhone is like $2,000 and a computer is like $2,500 too.
Is it?
I think if you want to like get a terabyte on it, it's like closer to like $2,000.
I'm sorry, who needs a terabyte?
I do. Me and my friends do, because we like shoot stuff on our phone all the time, right? You don't need like a lot of I
have like
memory
200
space?
and something, and then I have the iCloud thing.
Oh, okay. I don't know iCloud at all.
I don't. Nah. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
We're
talking to a Samsung guy here. That's why.
I gotta represent the country, bro.
Oh. Anyway.
I feel like yeah.
Should we do the intro?
Oh yeah. You want to go for it?
Hi, Sam.
Hey, Annie. Are you
open-minded?
You keep laughing. Like you gotta be serious, bro. This is our thing.
Sorry. One day I'll be able to say it with a straight face.
We gotta.
But not today.
We gotta take back the phrase. Otherwise, people are just gonna like be traumatized by the phrase.
I still am.
Has anyone ever asked you like literally if you were really?
Yeah, of course, all the time.
Have we ever told this story before?
I mean, there's no story. It's just always been like, back when I was on the apps and single, one of the first things would be like, are you open-minded?
Really? Okay. So that definitely has dark connotations to it.
Yeah, thank God, like, when I was being asked that, they knew. Actually, I do have a story.
Okay, there we go. Right off the bat.
It was one of my friends.
Welcome back, everyone.
One of my friends didn't know what "are you open-minded" means, and it was like at the end of a night out, and we were all eating K-barbecue, and I'm always the meat griller.
Nice.
So I'm grilling the meat, and my friend is very outgoing, and she was talking to everyone, and these 2 guys like come near us, and she's talking to them, and I'm not paying attention, and then like the one phrase that stands out is, "Oh, are you guys open-minded?"
What?
Mind you,
at a Korean barbecue.
Yeah, at 3 a.m. Yeah, that's probably why, but
it's like his last chance, his last shot.
I guess so.
My God.
And like it happens in like lightning speed, because she didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Are we open?" Yeah, we're all open-minded. And I slammed my like tongs down. I was like, "No, we're not open-minded. What the hell?"
Okay.
And like the other 2 girls weren't paying attention either. So they were like, "Oh my God, what?" Because I'm like freaking out on these guys. And I say to the other girls, like, "He just asked her if we're open-minded, and she told them that we're open-minded."
Right.
And then she was like, wait, what? And I was like, "He just asked if we want to fuck him."
Oh.
So yeah, I was not pleased.
Well, how? Like, give me a little bit of background. Like, how old is this guy? Like, how does he look like? Like,
I don't
what
know.
do these people look like when they actually say that? Oh, you don't
20s,
remember? 20s. Okay,
I mean,
early 20s,
it was
late 20s.
like.
Was it like an ajashi preying on you?
No,
or like no?
Our age. But the thing is, like, there's 4 of us, there's 2 of them. Like, what are you...
Right.
Maybe that's why he was asking, like, how open-minded are you? But, yeah, my friend, like, as soon as she got to Korea, she like, got into a relationship, so she never went through the whole, like, oh, this is what Korean guys mean when they say this.
Right,
like, she, like, automatically found, like, a good guy. So, yeah, bless her. She didn't know.
I wonder how much of that is like a translation issue of like lost in translation of, oh, are you guys okay with being with Korean guys? Maybe I'm being too naive, but I feel like, I don't know. There's got to be, I wonder where he even learned that phrase, "Are you open-minded?" Because like that's not something that we teach in schools at all.
What the phrase?
The
Are
phrase,
you
"Are you
open-minded?
open-minded?" Like I don't know.
Does it translate to anything in Korean if you were to ask in Korean?
Not really.
I don't know. I wonder how like that the open-minded thing came about.
Yeah.
Because I know in Korea it's like normal, or like most Asian countries, it's normal to like say something where you have to like read between the lines. It's not like direct.
Right. It's like, hey, you want to come back to my place and watch Netflix? Right.
So maybe it's like an acknowledgement of how Korea is kind of close-minded about certain things. So maybe it's that.
Yeah. I feel like if a guy was gonna ask for sex, I think he would just be like, hey, let's go to, you want to head to a hotel afterwards? I don't think he would start off with like, hey, are you guys open-minded? I don't know. I feel like...
I beg to differ.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Me and my friends beg to differ.
Man. Okay.
Unfortunately.
Well, we're taking it back. We're making it something wholesome. We're making it... maybe one day you won't be laughing.
Squirming in my seat.
Cringing every time we say the phrase. But yeah, how you been doing?
I've been good. I've been busy. Running around.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to sit down and catch up.
Yes, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been the same old thing for me. Still practicing, still working, still doing the podcast, and trying to make this social media stuff work. I made a video yesterday.
I saw.
Yeah, about I was actually surprised that you didn't make a video about this, but it was it's an older show, I believe. It wasn't this year, but I feel like a couple years ago, this post on Twitter was making the rounds around the internet because these men on a Korean dating show did not want to carry a woman's bags up these steps. And the reason for it was they thought, they were saying, oh, we have gender equality now. So, we don't need to be carrying that stuff. We don't do that kind of thing anymore. And I'm just like, dude, this is not a gender issue. This is just like an issue of being polite and having some class. And I made that post and most of the people agreed with me. But there's always that subset of people, both men and women, who are just like totally against it as well. Like, oh, well, this is what it means to be an independent woman. I'm like, yes, but it's not a gender issue. This is just an issue about being polite. If you see somebody struggling with something and you're in a position to help, then you should help. But some people just did not get that. They couldn't get it through their head, like that it's not a gender issue. And they're like, but it is. Like, it really isn't.
And you're on a dating show. Like,
you're on a dating show.
You want to be as chivalrous as you can.
Yeah. Or like it's not even about chivalry. It's just like, just be a good person and just like, hey, hey, are you struggling? Even like asking if they need help is enough, right? And if they reject you, then you can be like, okay.
Right. I feel like that's a good way to kind of see what kind of person those people are misogynists, by the way. Like the way, if you are someone who uses feminism against someone else, you're a misogynist and you're angry at the fact that women are still not equal, but women have a little bit more equality in certain aspects. But like to say that like, oh, well, it's almost like, well, that's the consequence. That
was like the tone that I got from that. It was like a very smug, like, oh, hey, we have gender equality now, so we don't have to do that anymore. One dude was like, we all have to suffer together. And it's like, what the fuck kind of mentality is that?
What are you suffering from?
Yeah, it's like, dude, because he had to like carry his suitcase up the steps by himself. So he's like, oh, well, why would I help someone else? And there were people in the comments being like, yeah, the guy did it and she didn't offer to help the girl didn't offer to help the guy.
Not everything, you can't equate make everything equal. At the end of the day, men are stronger than women.
So I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. It's like there is nuance to that. And like the argument that I wanted to make was like, hey, if a man fell down in front of you or he tripped in front of you, you would help him back up. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like it's just a normal, basic human thing to do. But then these guys were like, no, that's totally different. Like you can't equate, carrying a suitcase with like a man falling down. I'm like, it's a basic courtesy to want to help somebody. And the fact that you don't want to do it specifically because that person's a woman doesn't make any sort of sense.
Yeah, you're just trying to punish women now at this point.
It's a weird mindset. And people got mad at me because I censored their faces. And they're like, they were on TV. Like, why are you censoring their faces? You're protecting them. You're protecting your countrymen. I'm like, I'm protecting myself, dude. Like, people being weird, dude. Both men and women were being weird. That was.
And they were Koreans or foreigners?
Oh, no, they were foreigners. Yeah. Oh, actually, I don't know because some of them are cowards and they don't have anything on their
User
profile.
1234.
And they're following like 3,000 people and they have 0 followers. I'm like, dude, what are you doing with your time? How do you follow 3,000 people? Like, I follow like 100 people and I can't even like go through my whole feed. Like, it's just so troublesome. But yeah, that happened. That was a video that went viral for me. Yeah.
Does that mark the return for you?
You calling me out a little bit from my hiatus. I like to speak about issues that I'm passionate about. I don't like to make videos for the sake of making videos. Like, oh, I need to hit this threshold. I need to hit my what's the word? I need to hit this not limit. I have a certain amount of videos that I want to hit this week. I don't have anything like that because I have a separate job separate from this. So my income isn't based on TikTok. So that gives me the freedom to just be like, oh, this is an issue that I want to speak intelligently about. Yeah. That I think would be good to put out there into the world. So yeah, I'm not gonna be like being like, oh, watch me go to this, Korean barbecue place or anything like that.
Why are you shading me right now?
I haven't seen. Never seen you do like Korea tour. I haven't seen you do the stereotypical like, oh, come with me to this cafe, come with me to this restaurant. I feel like most of your videos are in the house, aren't they?
No, you literally just quoted one of my TikToks.
Did
Come
I?
with me to... Yeah, no, sometimes I do. Sometimes I step outside my house, but I mean, the reason why most of my videos are in the house is because I don't leave my house. But if I'm out and I'm doing something, I will. I
mean, that's fine if you want to, but I'm saying that for me, it's not something I'm passionate about doing or sharing. And I don't want to force myself to make stuff because that feels like it shows in a way, like the people will know that like I'm forcing this.
Do you think you're overthinking it maybe?
Possibly.
I think you are.
Possibly.
I think we're at the opposite spectrums on this type of thing.
What's your workflow of like making a video? Do you make a script first and then you do it?
Just yap.
Damn, that's crazy. I can't do that. I made a whole script for that video.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I can't speak intelligently about anything. I'm struggling right now.
Really?
I'm starting sentences and I don't know how they end.
Yeah.
No.
Same. That's the beauty of it. And sometimes you come up with gold.
You can do this naturally?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've always liked talking and talking and talking and talking.
Okay.
And I think if you have a formula for yourself, I think whatever works for you will work for you. But for me, it's like I have almost like a superstition of like I need to have like my main point by 6 seconds. I need to have said what the video is about, like that type of stuff. And then it's like after that, I can say whatever I want.
Right.
And just keep it under like 2 minutes.
I didn't really understand how to talk in a way. Like what you said, you want to have your main point within like the first 2 seconds so it doesn't feel like you're just rambling.
Yeah.
But my cousin taught me this thing called PREP, P-R-E-P. Was point and then reason and then example and then restate your point, right? PREP. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good structure. And it wasn't until he told me that that it just kind of clicked with me. Like, oh, okay, I know how to speak with a little bit more conciseness and with like a good flow so people don't just get lost in my rambling.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, mine is peace.
Peace.
Yeah. Huh. So, well, in school, they like really instilled that in us with essay writing. So like, that's why like I naturally just do it.
What does peace stand for?
Point, evidence, analysis.
Conclusion?
Yes.
Conclusion, and what's the E? Is there an E?
Is there any? I don't think so.
Is it just PEAC?
Yeah, without the E.
Say that one more time. Point
evidence analysis conclusion.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. That's like the basis of a good story.
Okay.
Or a good persuasive text or anything like that.
And so do you keep that in mind when you make a video?
It's just
natural, raw talent speaking out, coming out of this mouth. For me, it just feels like whenever I try to start a story, I lose it myself. So really? I need to have like a script down to follow. Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes if you're off script, you suddenly remember something that you didn't remember in the script writing. Like I like that flexibility, and then obviously you're editing it and then you're like, okay, like I repeated this or like that's unnecessary.
You specialize in sit down like talking heads. That's so hard for me. Like really? I struggle every time. I would rather just do like a comedy skit or a simple 5-second meme. That's like so much more less stressful for me.
Interesting.
Yeah, even like you guys can't tell because I'm such a good actor, but whenever I do a podcast or whatever, the whole time on the way here, I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna talk about? Like,
oh my God.
Like, yeah.
I sometimes talk to myself, just out loud.
You talk to yourself?
Yeah, just out loud.
In what? Like how?
Like if I get a video idea and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so passionate about this. There's no one here to listen to me right now.
So funny.
And I'm in bed and I can't film myself and I need to let it out and I just talk.
That's funny.
I think that's like prime only child syndrome, I think.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Okay. There's like I'll get clips of like the new Looney Tunes cartoon. Okay. And Lola Bunny does that. Like she talks to her. There's literally a clip of her being like, is it weird that I talk to myself? No, you don't. It's not weird at all. You're totally fine.
I will say I'm not like answering. Full on back and forth. I'm
full schizo.
Yeah, I'm just like I literally just talk the way that I talk if I were to speak to a camera, but there's no camera. I'm just talking.
Well, okay. Maybe I can take some pointers from you. Yeah. PEAC. Point, evidence analysis, conclusion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Takes me back.
Yeah.
Takes me back to school. But
I do want to make more videos in the future. Like I shit on you just now, but I probably will be doing videos like that because I do want to do like vlogs and things like that. But I've been saying this for years, honestly.
You have. I remember when you first started YouTube.
Oh man, yeah.
The vlogs. Was it vlogs?
Yeah, I had vlogs and stuff. I had vlogs, I had talking heads, I had like journal entries and things like that.
I think when short form came along, I think you really thrived with that one.
I think I only got like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's as far as that went. But because I'm so introverted, it was a struggle to just have a camera out and film myself.
Yeah.
It was like honestly very torturous. Like it was like physically hurting me, like cringing.
Really?
Having to have like the GoPro selfie stick and just like walking around Myeongdong like that, that was tough for me. That was a big thing for me. But I did it. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you. Is there any sort of video that you would want to do in the future, different from what you're doing now?
No, I like what I do.
Yeah.
Maybe I enjoy watching vlogs. I don't enjoy filming them. So I feel like mine are really boring. But then it's like I'm very self-critical.
Yeah,
like I'm very confident in what I have to say.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like showing, I'm like, no one wants to see that. That's boring.
Yeah, that's kind of the reason why I stopped doing those YouTube vlogs, because it was like the middle of editing. I was like, who's gonna watch this? Like honestly.
Exactly.
And then eventually it just kind of stopped on its own naturally.
Yeah.
Especially
I'm sorry, I'm very like locked in on short form, so I don't even know how to like make long form anymore.
And like short form content is so different from long form content as well. Because there's so much more competition and there's so much interesting people out there, or at least in interesting scenarios. Are you following the Hurricane Milton or Hilton in
I do see TikToks about it.
So there's this lady that is like refusing to leave her house. So basically, for those of you that don't know, Florida has been hit with 2 hurricanes. One of them was like a month ago, and then they're gonna get hit with another one as of this recording. Or I think they got hit with the worst of it already. And just before Hurricane Milton hit Florida, which was a Category 5 hurricane, which is basically like entire homes submerged underwater. And so there's mandatory evacuation, and she refused to leave. I forgot what her handle was, but she was like, my husband built this house with his 2 hands. It's industrial concrete. Like it's
I have heard about
it's
her.
3 stories tall. Like there's nowhere we're gonna leave. And then like her last 2 videos are of her like pitch black, like her power went out. And then her last video was the backup generators got turned on, and it's just like darkness outside, and like the trees swaying like crazy, and a bunch of water hitting her windows. It's Florida, so her entire south side of her house is just like window to window, like glass. Like you think 200-mile-an-hour winds are not going to break through that little glass? That's crazy. And she did not upload after that, so it's like everyone's like on pins and needles being like, is she still alive? Like what is happening? So I can't compete with that content. No. Like, oh, what am I? Oh, hey, look at this cute little cafe. No, I feel like, nah.
I mean, TikTok is so like just, she has your attention for like a minute and then it's on to the next.
Right.
So I think there's a spot for you.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Promote this podcast as well. You have more followers than me.
Oh, you're getting there though. I've seen you blow up really big. I think the beginning of this year you had like 20K, and then you're at like 60K now, aren't you?
Yeah, but I'm jealous of the people that get like I was speaking to Anna and Seoul. And she told me how, like, mind you, she started in the pandemic, so TikTok was a lot more
me as well, yeah.
And she gained like, I think she said like she gained 1 million in like a couple of either months or weeks, like very quickly. Her first 1 million was like,
what?
Yeah.
Doing what? I gotta copy this.
It was during the time when everyone's doing, well, she was like pioneering it, I will say. She was convenience store stuff.
Oh, yeah, those pop off.
Yeah.
Those are so good. I've had friends in Canada be like, I love those videos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was watching those videos before I was creating myself. But so she was the girl doing that. And she's like, I think she has like 2 million followers now.
Hell yeah. Good for her.
Yeah, good for her. But then I see people like that like blow up. I don't think I blew up. I just grew.
But that's the best way to grow, honestly. Like obviously it's great once you have like a big following.
Yeah.
Or you know, once you have that initial explosive thing, but people drop off as quickly as they pop on, right? So I've seen, like, I'm bleeding followers on my Instagram. Actually, I had like 80K, and then now I'm down to like 73 because I haven't been posting, but also because like even when I was posting consistently, it would still bleed out, and I'm like,
oh really?
Yeah, I was like, dude, what the hell? So
it might be just bots.
True.
Yeah,
but I think
I do see you only posting like
my dance videos and stuff like that. But I think there is, I feel like slow, consistent growth is much more valuable than like the big explosive growth.
That's true.
Yeah. So you don't need to like covet her or be
oh
envious
no,
of
I'm
that.
not I'm not like, I'm just saying like it's more of like a comparison, like you know, like people loved her so much, like what am I doing different? Like I wouldn't like be the type of person that's like, I need to do exactly what she's doing to get. But I'm just like more like, what am I doing wrong in my like lane?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. But
luckily I'm not like a naturally jealous person, but it's more just like, is it because I'm not funny enough, or is it because I'm not entertaining enough?
Yeah.
Like, what is it that, because she is like, she is entertaining, she is funny. I love watching her videos. What's like, why isn't my content up to par?
Right.
And if it is, why isn't it reflected in my like follower count? But at the same time, I understand like it's a different time now.
Yeah, for sure.
like the pandemic was like the time to start.
I mean, a lot of it is just down to luck as well.
Exactly,
like,
the algorithm as well. Like sometimes the algorithm chooses you.
Yeah.
And I've also seen people who blew up during the pandemic have like so many followers and they can barely get like 5,000 views.
Yeah.
Like you look at like not even like the Korean creators, but like the ones that did the dances and stuff.
Charlie D'Amelio.
Charlie D'Amelio still like is up there, but like the people from that group, there's people that like fell off, and then like I'll randomly see one of their videos, and the comments will be like, "Oh my god, I forgot about you. I haven't seen you.
That's crazy.
I haven't seen you in so long."
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's so mean to say too. Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about you. I forgot you existed. That's crazy.
I mean, I get that sometimes.
Really?
On my YouTube, yeah.
Oh.
But I do take big breaks. But.
I mean, like, when you think about, like, the most viral videos that blow up like crazy, there's always going to be, like, the super overproduced one that's like, oh, clearly this got, like, a billion, like, literally a billion views. Yeah. What was that one Uno edit? Have you seen that one at all? No. On TikTok, where it's, like, these dudes are playing Uno, and then they got, like, super creative with their special effects and everything. Like, you can tell this was, like, a work of passion or whatever. And that got like, you know, close to 1 billion views.
Oh, nice.
And then like above that, there's like a girl in her car lip syncing to a thing and she gets like 900 million views or whatever like that.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
So it's always down to like, obviously she's very pretty, but like there's a bunch of pretty girls on TikTok, right? So I feel like we're just at the mercy of the algorithm with that kind of stuff.
That's true.
I would want if I was her friend, I would ask her like how she stays consistent. Like, yeah, she got the big growth, but does she have like consistent views? Because my views are always up and down, depending on what I'm talking about or
I think it's just building up an audience. I mean, I will say like my views are consistent. So I have that. But I notice also you don't get that if you are not consistent with uploads. In my opinion.
For me, it's been up and down, because even when I was consistent, I would still bleed followers, or a video would do well on TikTok, but it won't do well at all on Instagram, or it'll do well on Instagram, or vice versa.
I create content separately.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't translate well. But I hear that you have a couple of videos prepared for me, because last podcast I said that I can.
Oh, you want to get into that?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. I'm really curious.
You want to set this up a little bit for them?
Yeah. So I said that I can hear by a person's accent, even if they're American, if they are Asian, I can hear it because there's like this Asian American accent.
You said there was a twang to our voice.
Yeah, even you, when I listen to our podcast, I hear it. Yeah. If I was blindfolded, I would know that you're at least Asian.
Okay, well, let's put your money where your mouth is. So get your headphones on. I have 5 people. That I'm going to show you. I'm not going to say how many are Asian, how many are another ethnicity. Okay. I'm just going to play it
I will say, okay, no. Yes.
You want to preface this in case you get it totally wrong?
Preface. Obviously, not everyone has the twang. Maybe if you've been whitewashed, you may, like if you've spent a lot of time around just white people, you'll sound.
Well, I mean, like basically like it's Koreans in
Asian Americans who spend time with other Asian Americans definitely have the accent.
Ooh, interesting. But I feel like if you grow up in Southern California, you're going to be surrounded by white people, black people, Latinos. Yeah.
But I just wanted to preface, just in case I get all of them wrong and I've been cocky for no reason.
Okay. We'll start with... Oh, wait. Can you see in the mirror at all? No, right?
No.
Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the audience play along as well. I'm not going to play the video for them. Okay. You can play along as well. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is number 1.
when you're a young person, you're kind of like shopping for your personality. You try this outfit at school, it doesn't work, and you're like, okay, I'm not that guy, maybe I'm this guy. And that's like what it is to become an adult. Those realities are totally at tension with each other when you're young, because on one hand you want to, not necessarily with partying or something, but you want to find yourself, and on the other hand you have to find that cycle to ground you almost. And there's peer pressure, and it is a really disillusioning, crazy world out there. And
is this person Asian or other? Is this person Asian or white?
He sounds like a white guy called Cody.
Okay.
Like his name would be Cody.
I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong. We're just going to fight through. Okay. So you're locking it in. This person is a white person named Cody.
Or he just he lives in a place that doesn't have a lot of Asians.
Okay. What's the reasoning behind this? What is it about?
There's no like...
Show me the thought process.
There's no twang.
Okay.
Like, a lot of like O sounds, like...
You want to listen to it again?
The R's, the way that he pronounces R is like throwing me off. But I don't know if that's just like specifically from the part of America he's from. But yeah.
Okay. All right.
There's
we're gonna move on.
But it's not. Even if he is Asian, he doesn't have the Asian American accent.
No, you got it. You got to commit. White person. Number 2. You ready?
Skincare routine, and I have a pretty chill day in LA, so we're gonna do my makeup. First, I'm going to wash my face, but before that, I like to use these claw clips.
Asian.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, you were pretty quick on that one. Like
when she said claw clips, there's something there.
Okay. All right.
There's something there.
All right. You want to move on? You want to listen to the rest of it, or you just want to move on? Okay.
Nah.
Okay. She seems pretty confident about that one.
The crazy thing is, this wasn't even an internally flawless ring, because it might have been absolutely redonkulous numbers. So this wasn't, I mean, it was as perfect as, well, first of all, to the naked eye, it's still great. Remember, the bigger a fucking rock is, the easier to see a small inclusion in it.
Right.
But yeah, it's just things like that I rely on one of those like every few years, hopefully. That's like,
Asian or white?
I'm leaning more... He doesn't have the
twang.
The twang.
He doesn't have the twang.
The noticeable...
This one's harder for you.
Yeah. That one was less obvious. I'll go for Asian.
Yeah. Okay. And here's number 4. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I am like actually a crazy person where I really prefer kind of objectively uglier names, or names that aren't as sweet to the ears, because I feel like it gives my kid personality. Like I legitimately, if I met someone and I was like,
That's a white woman.
That's a white woman? Okay. What's the thought process there? What's the reasoning there?
No Asian woman would say that.
No.
Like, I want my kids to have personality, so I'm going to give them a crazy name. But also besides that, like, just the way that she spoke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to lock it in?
Yeah.
Okay.
White.
And the last one. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I ended up winning big this weekend. Would say I never lost, actually. And it was a very interesting TwitchCon, I'll be honest with you guys. I think I'm getting fucking old, man. It's hard for me to go to as many parties or just appreciate the weekend as much anymore. Honestly, this might have been my last TwitchCon. I'm gonna be pretty picky, I think, about the events I go to now. Doesn't mean I'm quitting anytime soon, but I think...
Okay. Asian or white?
Nothing jumped out to me about the Asian, so I'm gonna go white. But none of the ones they showed me had like the accent that I'm talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Except for the girl with claw clip.
Okay.
Who's at claw clip.
Okay.
That was like the most, like the one that I'm most confident about.
Okay. So the first person, white boy from Cody, is Timothy Chalamet. So you were right on the money on that one. Okay.
He's uber white.
Yeah, he's like French. You can't get whiter than that.
Yeah.
And the second girl you said was
Asian.
Yeah. That is what's her name? She's the Korean American girl from Le Seraphim.
Oh.
Yeah. So okay. Yunjin. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I told you.
I thought she had such a like typical South.
When I hear she slightly has it. When I hear the accent, I know it's certain words like claw clip. When she said claw clip, I was like, that is
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice.
Okay.
So
I feel very validated right now.
2 out of 5. Okay. So the third guy you said you said this one was a little bit more difficult, but ultimately you said Asian.
Yes. There wasn't anything what he said pointing. It was more like the choppiness of his words.
Ooh, interesting.
So I was like, he's Asian and he speaks another language, or he's white and speaks another language. But English is not.
This is Ben Baller, Korean American jeweler for a bunch of hip hop artists and stuff. There you go.
Okay.
3 out of 5. Pretty good. All right. The fourth one, the most obvious one, is white. Yeah, totally. The girl that you said like, oh, no Asian woman would care about making their kid have a personality. Okay. So this is I think her name is Caroline Consner. Okay. She's like a comedian YouTuber that I thought was funny. Okay. And the last person here, I actually don't know his Twitch handle or whatever, but I think his name is Peter. It's an Asian dude.
Oh.
Yeah. So not white.
No.
So almost had the full set.
Almost.
I
think maybe next podcast I'll bring in people with like the strong accent
you think so?
Mix them. Yeah.
Okay. I think while I was like finding specific like white people to include in here, I kind of understood what you meant. Where I feel like Korean or Asian accents, when they speak English, there is like a nasalness to their voice as well. Like I was trying to find like a good white person to mix into this.
Yeah.
And a lot of them had much deeper voices. They had like a roughness to their voice. I feel like a lot of Asian men specifically have higher tones.
That's true.
And nasally voices. And I think that must come from our mother tongues, maybe from like Vietnamese language or the Chinese language, or even like the Korean, like the sound, right?
Yeah.
It's very much like in the back of your throat,
right,
in the back of your nose.
Right.
Yeah.
I think because the English language isn't a very guttural language, whereas Korean and other Asian languages can be.
Yeah.
So
there is something definitely to what you said.
Yeah,
about,
like again with claw clip.
Yeah.
Like
claw clip.
There was something at the back where I was like,
okay. Okay. No, you stood on your business. Yeah. Okay. 4 or 5 is still pretty good. I tried to get like the best ones that did not sound like it was an Asian did not sound it was like an Asian person. So okay, I'm very impressed.
Okay, do you believe now that there is an Asian American accent?
Yeah, absolutely. When I hear it, I think I can get it. If you did it to me.
But next time I'll show you what I'm really talking about.
All right. Well, there you go.
Wow.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Something you can clip later.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder. It's like whenever I post different things on different platforms, I'm like, oh, I know like how YouTube will take this.
Right.
And then I'm like, this worked on YouTube, but like how are people on like Instagram or like TikTok gonna take this?
Yeah. But the thing is, like, I heard from a lawyer, a TikTok lawyer, he was like, you should put your content on everything because like another person can steal your content from TikTok and put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And because they got first dibs on it, it's harder for you to like get it taken down. That's what I heard.
I have someone on Facebook doing that with my videos.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not getting any views, which is, I don't know, kind of embarrassing for both of us.
And you can't take it down, or what's
I've
the
not
issue?
bothered to. It's like they get like 2 views. So it's like, and they're pretending to be me. So
I thought it was just like they're just stealing your content and
well, they are, but they're also stealing like everything else. But it's like
identity theft.
Essentially, yeah. So I could easily like take it down, but I'm like, I can't be bothered. Like, I can't be bothered. Like, it's not hurting me.
I think if people were to copy my stuff and put it out there, I would be okay with it because I think that's any sort of exposure is good exposure. Is the way I see it. So even if like, I'm not getting any like monetary value from it.
Oh no,
it's still exposure for me. So
no, I'm very like protective about my content. Like I've had individuals download my stuff, and it's like, you could have asked. First of all, I probably would have let you.
Just said yes, yeah.
Or to be honest, like. A lot of people don't know this, but content creators, if they know what they're doing, they sell the rights to their videos, and you make more than like when you do a collaboration, there's an extra fee sometimes. If the company wants the usage rights, the usage rights are like almost as much as the actual content fee. So you end up making twice as much. So me knowing that, I'm like, no, like I'm not gonna give you the content rights to a video where I make so much money doing that, like charging it to other companies, like no. And I have reached out to different creators, people, like, you know, people who download stuff and re-upload it for their page and it's like a meme page or something like that.
Yeah. They'll have like Subway Surfers on the side or whatever.
That, or like there was this one Instagram account and they just like they would like download other Korea content creators. Like it'd be a vlog, like go to this hotel or go to this cafe and stuff like that. And they had like more followers than me. And everyone thought it was my apartment tour video.
Okay.
And I had already uploaded it. Like, it doesn't need to be on anyone else's page. It's already on Instagram.
Right.
They never asked me. And it went viral for them.
Okay.
And everyone in the comments was like thinking that it was me.
Okay.
So like people were asking that person in the comments, being like, oh my God, I love your apartment. How did you find it? And that, for me, that's when I was just like, that's not okay. Like,
right.
You didn't ask, you didn't credit me. At the very bottom, they put like TikTok and then just wrote my name. And I'm like, my TikTok name and my Instagram name is the exact same. You have the tagging option. You could have tagged me. I would have been fine with, they would have just tagged me and been like, oh, source Annie Nova.
Yeah.
People can just click. No one is gonna go to the bottom of the description, be like, oh, _ Annie Nova on TikTok. Let me go onto this other app.
Right, that doesn't,
it doesn't happen.
Works, yeah.
At least then, like if I'm tagged, people just click.
Right.
But I got nothing, I'll say it, I got nothing out of it. Why am I giving you...
Yeah, why are you benefiting from my work? Yeah.
So like I commented, and I think a bunch of my friends commented and be like, hey, like that's not okay. They just ignored it. I DM'd them. I was like, hey, I'm not okay with this. And they kept ignoring me. And then I was like, well, this is actually illegal. So I went the like route of through Instagram, and they took it down.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very like
aggressive
with that.
I think we take different approaches to it because literally this is your job. So I understand you want to protect your assets as much as possible. Right. I don't make a whole lot of money from this. So I'm like, whatever. Any.
It's like also just like a principle thing. Even if because I didn't make any money from that video specifically. It was like my first ever video that I filmed on TikTok, and it just happened to go viral. But yeah, it's the principle. Like the whole page is just stolen content. So.
Okay, so speaking of stolen content, I don't like street interviews. I don't know if we talked about this before, but like I don't like street interviewers who don't put their own commentary on anything, and they're trying to get like the hottest, spiciest takes from strangers or their friends, whatever. And then so what happens in the end is like, if they say something like spicy or if they get a lot of shit, it's directed at the person that they interviewed on the street and not at them. And
that's the beauty of it for them.
Yeah, and the street interview gets to reap all the rewards because hey, controversy creates a lot of income for them. It gets a lot of eyes on their video, which gives them money. So it's like these dudes get all the money and they don't take any of the hits. So I'm like, dude, like at least have your own sort of like commentary on this. And like I've had a lot of friends be on the other side of that where they were the ones interviewed. And they were edited in such a way that it was like they got done dirty in a really bad way that made it seem like that their stance on something was different from what they actually meant, or the nuance or the context was removed from the clip.
Right.
And they just wanted the spicy, 20-30 second clip. And they like had to go through the process of like, hey, this doesn't represent my views. You got to take this down. People are messaging me being like, you're a piece of shit. Like, what is wrong with you? You're racist. You're sexist.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I don't like street interview videos because of that reason. They're just so...
I feel like that happens a lot in social media. But the whole reason why part of the reason why this podcast happened, why I'm on this podcast, is because I've been hard done by.
Yes, you told me multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times, multiple people.
Multiple people is crazy.
And it's like the most insane thing. Like it's the same. Like I don't know if this is normal, but I'm just like, I would never think to like edit something in that way.
It's just a courtesy issue. Like, this doesn't look good for that person, even if they're the ones that said it.
Yeah, exactly.
At least give them like the heads up being like, hey, is it cool if I clip this? Yeah.
I mean, in my situation, like, I never saw like the final cut. Because usually like, and if we ever have guests on the show, like, I would send them the whole podcast first. You tell them like, hey, do you want anything cut? Like when we exchange, like Sam like edits this, he'll send me the clip, the whole video, and be like, hey, like, did you say anything where you're like, actually, I don't want to keep that in? And I think that's just common courtesy. Like when you're talking, sometimes afterwards you're like, actually, I don't want that out there. So
that's the danger of yapping. Like when you were speaking earlier about doing talking heads and you can talk forever, there are going to be times where I say something that I don't really mean. Like,
are you referring to something?
No. What do you mean?
Have you checked our TikTok lately?
No.
Well, it's doing well.
Okay, cool.
But
I'm glad. Thank you.
But there was this one clip that you said something, and now looking back, I knew, like in the moment especially, like it was very innocuous and you were just like yapping. But you were talking about your friend and who like came to Korea and she got set up by her friend.
Oh yes. And the Are You Open-Minded guy.
Yes. So, and you said something like, oh, like this is a Korean woman, of course she wouldn't want to hook up. You said something along the lines of that.
Okay.
Certain people in the comments were like, oh, just because she's Korean, that's why you can't treat her badly.
Oh, interesting.
And I know you don't think that way.
Okay.
But
I see
it that way.
So
where
it's like
even because you saw what you said, you thought it was fine.
Yeah.
So even when you think something is fine, other people can still misconstrue it. So there's never like 100% chance of like something like coming out wrong.
I mean, even if, going back to what I was saying, it's like I can say things and not really in the moment truly mean it, or at least mean it in the way that I said it.
Yeah.
Right? Because the content of what I'm saying can still be true, but maybe it could have been delivered better. There's tons of situations like that.
Right.
Or even stuff like I haven't really actually thought about it until you asked me the question, but because we're in this space where I need to have an answer to something.
Just the first thing that comes to mind.
It's the first thing that comes to mind that I believe in. And like, we get caught up in that. I feel like people can get caught up in that.
100%.
So like that's super dangerous as well. So,
yeah. I mean, I will say I am a troll. So
word. Okay. Okay.
You agree?
No, I was like, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's I'm happy to get like hate if I'm the one who greenlit something. If I like with my 4B video, I was fine with getting hate because at the end of the day, I said what I said and I meant what I said. But if that had been a clip from a podcast where I hadn't seen the clip before and I didn't know it was going to be posted, I might have been a bit like, like it would have been nice to be able to weigh the pros and cons of if I really want that out.
Right.
And especially with like, okay, like I posted that video, I got all the gains, I got views, I got followers from it. What the hell do you get from like a street interview?
Yeah.
You're not going to get followers. If anything, you'll get hate.
Yeah. The street interviews I just don't like. I don't think.
I saw this one street interview that had my blood boiling a little bit. And it was like the street interview. And they were asking Koreans, like, would you be open to dating a foreigner? And there's this one guy who was just like, oh, yeah, I love foreign girls. Like, and then he starts shitting on Korean women, being like,
no.
Korean women are just like too much. They want too much. Basically saying like foreign women want less. And it's like, so man. You're okay. So the only, you're not saying, oh, you like foreign women because this, and this. You're saying they just don't want as much as a Korean woman.
Well, I think I mentioned this to you maybe in an earlier episode or not, but I remember saying that like we were talking about differences in dating and how Korean women can be, there's an expectation that like you're going to be texting her throughout the day.
Yeah.
And like that would be an example of what he's saying of like they are less, what's the word? High maintenance. They're less demanding for the things for like compared to like Western.
Yeah, texting maybe, but there's other things like that's just a personal thing. Like me personally, I wouldn't ever date someone who doesn't have like a degree.
Yeah.
That could be seen as like, oh, that's too
classist.
Much. Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So, and then that's not like a foreigner thing or like a Korean thing. That's just a personal preference.
I think like,
but to automatically assume like because I'm foreign, I automatically want less.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously like generalizations are not a good thing in like, but it's like obviously everyone, if you have like a fully developed brain, you know that there's gonna be like an outliers of examples of people. I just think
like him blaming Korean women because he literally said like, oh, because of Korean women's high standards, a lot of Korean men are single, and it's like you're single because you're a fucking loser. I think, no offense.
Yeah. No, I mean obviously not to overgeneralize, but like I do think like if you're not. No, I'm not gonna say this. No, actually, see, going back early to what I said of like saying things that you don't know if you truly mean or not. I was about to say something bad right there.
Spitballing.
Yeah. And then I wanted to put it out there in the universe and be like, do I actually think this?
Right.
Probably not. So I caught myself there.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say something like this interview was asking a black woman like, oh, what's your experience dating a Korean man? And she was like, oh yeah, this one dude was like, yeah, I never want to marry a black woman because I don't want N-word babies. Like, what the I thought that was where you were going with that.
No,
but okay, that went the opposite way.
Oof. Yikes.
Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
Well, podcast drama.
Ooh.
Have you heard about the I don't even know what their podcast is called. Under the Influence podcast.
Oh.
They're like...
Oh, I know, like, I recognize some of their faces for sure. They're very popular, yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
I don't watch them, but, well, the only reason why I've seen that they're, like, in trouble is because they attacked Drew Afualo.
Okay. Yeah, you showed me her account earlier.
Right, yeah. So if you don't know, like Drew does a lot of like response videos to red pill men, very sexist men, like, and she's very like, she's merciless. Like the way that she speaks, it would hurt more than being punched in the face, in my opinion.
I gotta see her videos.
You never want to be in a verbal fight with her. Ooh. She will win.
Okay.
And yeah, so her main thing is like preaching to women to not accept the bare minimum, not accept terrible behavior.
Okay.
You're fine without a man. And she recently got engaged, and all these red pill men came out and they were like, oh my God, hypocrite. You say men ain't shit and blah, 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 but you're getting married. And it's like, no, she found a man that ain't shit.
Okay. And
wait, no, she found a man that is the shit. She found a man that is the shit.
If she did marry like a man that wasn't shit,
yeah, then
that would be an issue.
Exactly. And she never said like, be single. She said, it's better to be single than settle for bad behavior.
Yeah, for sure.
And anyone who has an issue with that, you're the type of guy that she talks about.
Okay.
And these guys on the podcast were saying that she was creating red pill men because of these guys will apparently watch her videos and turn into red pill men. Start hating women because of her.
Right. I can see that being true for sure. I can see men. I mean, you got to think about like how young these people are on TikTok. I'm assuming they're on TikTok, right? Mm-hmm. And being hated on when they haven't even done anything. Like these are fucking kids, right?
But she doesn't say like, "Oh, you watching this?" Like,
okay.
She's specifically responding to people that like come to her and say like, "Oh, you're fat." And then she'll go in and like dismantle their whole entire.
Okay, yeah. So I don't think I've watched her videos, so I'm not sure like what kind of content she makes. So the podcast was criticizing her, being like she's the reason for red pilled men.
She's a hypocrite. She's
a hypocrite for dating or for getting married to a man.
Yeah, being engaged. When she's telling other women to be single. And
she's telling all the women. Oh, okay.
She wasn't. No, she's saying it's better to be single than to be with like
shitty men. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get behind that, but
yeah. And then she responded.
Yeah.
And chef's kiss, like hats off to her. I recommend you watch the video.
Those the Red Pill Men podcasts. It was like Fresh Socks, something like that.
Fresh and Fit.
Okay. Yeah, like those dudes, they're not married either, right? They're not married. They don't have girlfriends, do they?
I mean, they have like girlfriends but they they cheat basically.
Okay.
One of them they talk about like being against abortions, and then it came out that one of them got a girl pregnant, and he was like trying to force her to get one.
So like the way that I see it is that when I look at like influencers or whatever, it's like, why would I take relationship advice from someone who isn't in a relationship?
Yeah.
Or why would I take marriage advice from someone who isn't married or can't get married?
I mean, it's the same with Pearl.
Who's Pearl?
She's like the ginger girl that talks about like, oh, like 18-year-old girls are the hottest.
What?
Than 25-year-old women or whatever. Yeah, she very much panders to like that audience.
Okay. What? Okay.
And again, like she's 27, unmarried, only recently got a boyfriend, and people were like, Pearl, you're like the dream girl of these guys, and you're not wifed up. So clearly what you're saying is not right. She'll say other things like women shouldn't vote.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, like
what's the reasoning for that? Wait, that doesn't...
She doesn't have like anything intelligent to like back up her claims. She's just like, oh, I just don't think they should vote. They shouldn't be in power and blah, blah.
What?
And it's like her mom is the CEO of a company.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's different things like that. She's like, oh, women, we should criminalize women not being virgins anymore. She's not a virgin.
Yeah, so it's like there's so much hypocrisy going on with these like influencers who think that they have
100%.
something.
There was this one where it was like, they asked this guy like, because he was like, no fault divorce should be illegal.
I'm sorry, say that again?
No fault divorce should be illegal.
What's a no fault divorce?
No fault divorce is when you're able to divorce someone and you don't have to prove why.
Oh.
It can just be like, you don't love each other anymore. Okay, divorce.
That's not allowed?
He wants to
Make it illegal.
Yeah, make it illegal. Whereas like others, like different states, you have to prove that there was like infidelity, or like you have to prove that there was domestic violence, or you have to prove something. You have to give a reason and have proof. And in certain states, that is like no fault divorce isn't a thing.
Okay.
Some states it is.
Okay. Weird.
And
okay.
he wants to get rid of like, we just don't love each other, or like, let's say someone's being like, so someone said like, so you believe that if a woman is being beaten every single night by her husband, she shouldn't be allowed to divorce him? And he's like, just endure it.
Oh, huh.
But in the same breath, they'll be like, okay, what if your wife gains 200 pounds and you're not attracted to her anymore? And he's like, oh, but like, she should have stayed the same way when I got married.
Yeah.
So it's all about like what they want.
Yeah.
And they say like more men are turning towards red pill content now, the more like...
Yeah, like Andrew Tate, like I wouldn't say he championed the movement, but he was definitely like a superstar. Forefront. Yeah, that dude was everywhere. So I'm on gym motivation TikTok. I still get his videos.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oof.
So...
Yikes.
I'm sorry, what were you saying before though?
No, I just saw a statistic and it's like men are turning to more like religion and conservative because of what's happening with women are starting to out earn, be more educated. Women are, I mean, the first time in history pretty much, we don't need a man to even just have a bank account. In the 80s, I think, as of the 80s, women were able to have like business loans. You don't need a man for that anymore. Like it's so like, because of the removal of needing a man, these men are just like, no, actually, I want women. Well, they're angry that women don't need them. Because now they need to be wanted, not needed.
Somewhat tangentially related. Speaking on like women's rights, I still need to verify this with my grandmother, but she once told me that so she has 3 sisters, I believe, and her parents never had a son. My great grandfather had a bunch of land in Korea, and I don't know, this must have been like the 40s or the 30s or whatever, and the government took away his land because he didn't have a male heir. Yeah, because he didn't have a son. So basically, like, our family was supposedly like super rich, but because they didn't have a son, like the government was like, well, you don't have a son and these women can't own land. So yeah.
Oh my God.
I still need to verify that, but I remember her telling me that when I was like a teen. So maybe I got the details wrong. Don't quote me on that. But
Korea was crazy back then.
Yeah.
Also, did you know Korea did ethnic cleansing back in like the 60s?
Ethnic cleansing as in like killing who?
Well, ethnic cleansing doesn't always mean killing, but like displacing, moving, kicking out. With the help of America.
Who are we kicking out?
The mixed kids. So back in the 60s, like the first ever Korean president came up with this wonderful law, which meant that if you are not 100% Korean, you have no rights. You have no human rights in Korea.
I think, are you referring to like the Chinese, Korean Chinese, like Joseonjeok or like?
No. This was the children fathered by American GIs and prostitutes.
Interesting.
So,
I never knew that.
Yeah, I fell down this rabbit hole and I was like, this is insane. But essentially, I mean, this was like promoted by America. Essentially, they, the Japanese had comfort women. Americans, they were encouraged. They weren't forced to become prostitutes, but they encouraged impoverished women to do that to help like boost morale for the Americans. Okay. And with that, like, comes pregnancy. And a lot of these very, very poor women now had a half Korean, half American baby. And there was this one story of this person who came back to Korea to find his mom because his mom tried to like enroll him into school, and it was like, and they were like, no, you can't. Like, your child has no civil rights here. And it was starting to become like a growing problem. They wanted like this racial purity of only Koreans. And so they came up with like the adoption, like international adoption. And it was like marketed as like, oh, like these babies need homes and they need parents. They don't have parents, when actually it was just like their country doesn't want them. And a lot of these kids were adopted out of Korea. And the paperwork wasn't like even legit.
The paperwork stuff with like the adoption agencies, it's like they're literally
to this day, I believe,
selling like children basically.
Right.
Yeah, it's a bad thing.
So if you don't know, like when you have Korean heritage, technically you're supposed to be able to have the right to a certain visa in Korea. If you ever want to come back to Korea, you get like the F visa, which you have.
Yes. There's a visa specifically for adoptees, I believe.
Oh, really?
As well, yeah.
Okay, that's good. But yeah, so a lot of these, but I know a lot of adoptees struggle with getting any type of visa because their paperwork is
basically lost, or it never existed, was never filed. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think also with like the whole adoption thing, like, you're not doing it because you don't want the baby. You're doing it because your baby can't live in your country. Yeah. So, human trafficking.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah,
like in, obviously I'm not going to excuse that at all, but like in times of war, it's like, dude, there's especially, or this is like not really related, but like, you know how Korea has like the worst fertility rate in the world right now. Like literally, let me do the math on this, maybe like 50 years ago, Korea had a program to sterilize men. Basically, they were like, hey, we'll give you like this much amount of money if you can, what's the word? Cut the tubes. Yeah.
I remember hearing about that. I remember also hearing, because Korea was having too many babies at one point.
Yeah, it's like, we were in like a
because they wanted sons. I remember there's this one slogan, translated into English, it was something like, it's better, like one good daughter is better than 10 sons or something like that, because people were having children.
Too many sons.
People who would only have daughters kept having children so that they could have at least one son. And there was too many babies at one point in Korea. And it's crazy to see that how much it has
totally flipped.
Like backfired almost, because now it's like, please have babies. And it's like,
just make affordable housing, please. Like, no. How
about we give you $500 a month? Is it that much?
It's like I think they've raised it up a lot, but basically, you get money for having children.
How about we give you a coupon?
Yeah. So it's like, it's actually really cool. One of my friends is I won't out her out, but I have a TikTok friend who has a half Korean child. She is not Korean. I will not say whatever, but she basically got a year off maternity leave.
Oh.
Yeah, like a full freaking year. Even my sister-in-law, she got like a year maternity leave, or a year and a half, I believe.
Yeah.
And then my brother also got like 6 months off.
Nice.
Yeah, and they got what's the word? Food and like baby materials for free. I can't remember for how long, but it was like a substantial amount, and they would get money from the government as well because they had kids, and that like doubled because they had 2 kids and stuff like that. So like the benefits of having children here is like, or having like really young kids here is like really good.
Yeah.
But then you have to live in Korea, and so
it evens out.
Yeah. Because like the kids here, they go through a really tough time during their childhood here.
They do.
The like elementary school is like, it's fine, but then as soon as you get into like even like pre-middle school, like 5th, 6th grade, it's still pretty rough because they start going to hagwons and like after school programs and club activities.
Yeah.
And
do you want kids?
Yeah, for sure.
How
not
many?
Here.
Oh, not here?
Not here. No way. Yeah, dude. No, like because they don't have childhoods here. right? They're constantly studying. They're constantly under the pressure of performing well for their school or whatever.
Yeah.
Even if you're like, hey, kid, you don't have to do that. You don't have to go to after schools. All their friends are. So they're like, well, I want to hang out with my friends. The only way I can hang out with my friends is if I go to this school. And so there are a lot of cases like that as well. So it's rough.
Okay.
But yeah, I totally want kids. But if I do, I'm not having them here. Gonna have
In America?
In the States. In America, yeah. I think because like you can actually live there and like be a kid and not just be in the books all the time. Yeah. What is that reaction?
No,
like
I'm obviously I'm not American and I'm not Korean.
Yeah.
And I don't want kids. But if I if I were, like, I think America and Korea would be like at the top of my list of not wanting to raise my kids.
Because of like school shootings, or like what are we talking about? Specifically that.
But also just like the schooling system is not very good.
America's, well, I don't know about public schools, but like we still have like the best universities in the world, right? Are you talking about like?
No, I'm talking about like high school. Like when you speak to high schoolers, that like they, specifically American schools, like they don't learn anything outside of themselves. Whereas like growing up, I mean, going to a Swiss school and a British school, like remembering. I knew about other countries. I knew about the histories of other countries.
Dude, I still struggle with the map. I'm like, what? Where is Bulgaria? Where is Romania? Is Romania a country? Romania's a country.
Yes, it is.
Okay, yes. I could not tell you where it is. Do you know where it is?
Yeah.
That could be another game we play. Okay.
Which countries?
Romania.
Which? Really? See, yeah. I don't know.
I could not tell you 10 African countries. South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria.
Yeah.
Bolivia? Bolivia's not in Africa?
No.
Egypt. Madagascar. Did I say Kenya?
Yes.
There's no North Africa.
No.
Hold on. No, that's pretty much all I got. Ethiopia.
Okay. Yeah, almost there.
Oh, dude, I'm struggling. Can you help me out?
There is Niger.
Niger, okay.
You have, what have you said?
Did I say Egypt?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Madagascar, South Africa.
Rwanda.
Oh, I knew. I would have gone that one.
You know Rwanda.
I saw that movie. Yeah.
What else?
Come on, you were talking shit about like Swiss school, Swiss education.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm also
two more African.
I'm also trying to remember the ones that you did
Botswana.
say. Botswana. Okay.
The next 10 minutes of this podcast is just gonna be pure silence.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think of the specific country. They are really pretty girls. Really pretty girls. With large foreheads. Somalia. That's why I was quiet. I wanted to shout out Somalia.
Well, we did 10. How many countries are there in Africa? I don't know.
Oh, a lot.
Okay. More than
many.
10.
Yeah.
Okay.
More than 10.
Okay. That's no, because dude, no. In America, it's like I can't even name
history.
I can't even name all the 50 states. If you put a gun to my head and they're like, "Hey, say all the 50 states,"
really,
the gun would go off.
I would struggle too, I think, but then I think I could do it.
I could not tell you anything about the Swiss. Is it the Swiss or is it No, Switzerland. I could not tell you anything about it.
I mean,
Swiss
we're
Alps.
Not, yeah, we're not like this, like super well-known country. I mean, I know about the Swiss, but we have banks.
Swiss banks.
Yeah.
I saw that movie. What was it? The Wolf of Wall Street, and he like puts all his money in Swiss banks. Yep. Yeah, like I think I don't know anything about Europe, so like the thought of having kids in Europe is like not something that I would
childhood.
be. Yeah.
Oh my god! Like I remember, like if I were to have kids, suddenly fall pregnant, I would definitely want them to go to like a Swiss school. Like I remember, we would go to the woods like twice a week.
Okay.
We would go to the woods and we would just build a fire. I know how to build a fire.
Oh, really?
And we would go find sticks and we would like sharpen them and then put
Wow.
a sausage and bake it over the fire.
That's
and
so cool.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Hell yeah.
Like different things like that. Like I know how to read. Like if we had this thing called, oh god, I don't know how to translate it, but basically they would take us out into like, not the wilderness, but like
Just leave you there.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah.
Give us a map. I mean, before they would prep us and be like, this is how you read a map. And yeah, they'd be like, we'd be out in the Alps or whatever. And
in the Alps?
Not the Alps. It didn't have snow.
Okay.
But it would be like high up.
Frozen tundra? Okay,
yeah. We weren't in the city, basically.
Keep going.
And they would just be like, okay, like, we've spent the last couple of weeks learning about, how to survive. Yeah. And we're like, what, 7, 8?
Are you kidding me? Dude.
And so that's how I know how to read maps. Like, I had to. And I really like that. Latitude and longitude. Yeah. I like the fact that, like, you teach kids to be independent.
You teach to kids?
What?
You teach kids?
You teach kids to be independent.
Oh, okay. I thought you said teached. I'm like,
Teached. Yeah, sorry. English is only my
your fifth language. Yeah,
fourth or fifth language. I apologize,
I thought that was a got you there, but okay, that backfired on me.
But yeah, I like the way that I was taught. Whereas I see kids now and they're spoon-fed everything.
Yeah.
Especially in America. Like I see it in my comments where I'm like, hey guys, like this is the name of the cafe that I'm at. And it's like, what's the name of the cafe? You ever get that?
No.
Oh.
I mean, when I think about like childhood in America, I think of like finishing school at 3 p.m. and then walking home, or like going to the mall with my friends, riding our bikes, going to the playground, going to the park. So it's like there's freedom.
Yeah.
There's freedom. But like in Korea, it's like, yeah, you do have freedom, but it's like it's after 7 p.m. It's after 8 p.m.
Right.
You know, when the day is done. And you'll see kids with like the panda eyes, the dark circles, because they're studying all day. And they like, I know some of my cousins, they get 5 hours of sleep and they're like 14. So like, yeah, it's not nice. It's not a cool existence out here.
I understand.
Yeah.
But maybe not America. Or maybe private school.
In America?
Yeah. How are they?
Christian. Oh. Most of them will be like, because there's a reason why, because they're like, we don't want people to, obviously I'm overgeneralizing, but they're like, we don't want them to know about evolution and stuff like that.
Oh.
So, yeah. So they make their own private schools and they're like, Jesus is the reason for life.
Is that just normal private schools? I feel like there must be.
Yeah, there must be. I'm trolling.
Okay. I went to a weird private school once.
Oh, yeah?
It was like a cult.
Word. Okay.
Maybe from the next episode, but they would dress us up as...
They would dress you up? All right. Tune in for the next podcast.
They would dress us... it was fine. Like, okay. But it's weird now looking back as an adult. But like, if it was your birthday, they would dress you up as Jesus, and then you would pick your friends, and they would be your parents, like Mary and Joseph, and we would recreate the nativity scene, and it was like this ritual. I went to a Waldorf school. You won't know.
That sounds like something from Harry Potter. Okay.
It was, yeah. In
Blair
a way.
Waldorf.
Gossip Girl. We would meditate with crystals. Yeah, it was an interesting school.
Okay, yeah. Where you? That was
in Switzerland. I already
don't
went
raise
for,
kids
in
Switzerland.
I went there for a short time because my mom was like, actually.
Oh, she didn't know beforehand.
Well, yeah, because they like, it's like one of those like hippie schools where it's like no books, just vibes.
Just vibes,
yeah,
bro. Yeah,
it was one of
crazy.
those, and it was like she wanted me to go there because I was like, I guess, gifted. I was I played the piano well, and they prioritize like the arts and music. So she put me in there, and then one of her friends was like, "Hey, like if there's nothing like wrong with her, pull her out right now."
Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
Next time,
get more in depth with that stuff. Man, that's crazy.
I used to terrorize the teachers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but like what you said about like school shootings, that's definitely something that I think about as well.
Right.
Of like
having metal detectors by the doors and having police officers, it is insane.
Yeah, obviously
to me.
that's not in every school in America, but like I have a friend who's a teacher in California, and she's like, she teaches kindergarteners, and they're like, we have school shooter drills, and we have to teach these kids to like, how to hide from like the doors, and we have to be quiet and don't say anything, and you can't or not you can't, it's not that you can't, but like parents are discouraged from buying their kids like the light up step shoes, like because they're easier to see.
I was so jealous of the kids with those.
Oh, I had those. I was the coolest kid.
What?
Yeah. But yeah. So it's really sad, but
you win some, you lose some.
Vote this November, please.
Yikes.
No, she's also pro-gun, isn't she?
She has a Glock.
She has a Glock. Damn, it's gangster.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's nothing to do with like the presidents and all. It's all about the
NRA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
save it for the next podcast.
Save it for the next one.
Are you voting? You need to. Please.
I get what's it called? Chris Evans. I've gotten Chris Evans on my Instagram, Captain America. And he's like on an ad, and he's like, "Hey, did you know that if you're overseas, you can vote? You just send it to
I get those ads as well, and I'm not even American."
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, please.
I got it, guys. Don't worry, I got you.
Because American
I'll
politics.
save America.
Yeah, American politics. It affects us all.
All right. You want to do your plugs for the people?
Yes. Oh my god, I hope my stomach didn't just pick up. But I'm Annie Nova _Annie Nova on TikTok and Instagram, and Annie Nova on YouTube.
All right. Yeah, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Soljiki, SOLJIKI, and on YouTube you can find me at bboy Soljiki, BBOY SOLJIKI. There are more than 10 countries in Africa.
Yes.
See you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm actually surprised I got like close to 10 countries in Africa.
See, this is what happens when you apply yourself.